Adam, Adam, where art thou? Come thou hither to be judged. Today you hear not that cry, it is mercifully postponed. You shall hear it soon, you shall hear it for the first time. Like mutterings of thunder when the storm begins, when sickness casts thee on thy bed, and death looks through his bony eyes upon thee, and touches thee with his ghastly hand, and saith, prepare to meet thy God. Thou mayest put off the question today, thou wilt have to deal with it then, when God himself shall come into closer contact with thy nature than he doth today. Then shall thy bones be as a jelly, and thy ribs shall quake, and thy very heart shall melt like wax in the midst of thy bowels. Thou shalt contend with the pains of sickness or disease, but there shall be a direr pain than these. Thou shalt have to look on death, but death shall not be the most terrible of all thy terrors, for thou shalt see behind death the judgment and the doom. Then thou wilt hear it, when the room is silent, and voices of wife and child are hushed, when only the clock is ticking. Thou shalt hear the footfalls of God coming to thee in the eventide of thy life, and saying to thee, where art thou? Now thou shalt meet me. Gird up thy loins. No invitations of mercy for thee more, thy day of mercy is gone. No warnings from the minister again, now thou shalt meet me face to face. Where art thou? Canst thou brag and boast now, when thy nerves have become loads for the hot feet of pain to travel on, and thy strength has gone and fled, and thou art as a candle ready to die out? Where now thine oaths? Where now thy merrymakings and thy jests? Where art thou now? You may toss and turn, but you will not be able to escape the question you will try to look back to this life, but you will be compelled to look forward to the life or the death to come. And still will the Lord whisper into your ears, where art thou? Where art thou? Then shall come the last struggle, when the strong man shall be bowed, when the bright and glittering eye shall be covered o'er with film, and the tongue shall cleave to the roof of the mouth, and the hand shall lie strengthless on the bed, and the feet shall no more be able to support the body, when the pulse shall fail, and the clammy death sweat shall stand upon the brow. And in those last moments there will still be heard that awful voice, rising with the gathering storm till it reaches the full grandeur of the awful tempest, where art thou? In the Jordan without God, nearing the grave without hope, dying, but no Christ to help thee, launching upon eternity, but no hope of eternal salvation. It is over, and the last pang has passed, and the thread is snapped that bound the spirit to the body, and you are gone into another world. But the question follows you, where art thou? Thy spirit is now awake, it sleeps no more, it is rid of the dull flesh that kept it sullen, stolid, stupid, dead. Now it hears that voice, indeed, and it thrills through and through the spirit, for the soul is brought before its God. Where art thou? Where art thou? Cries the quickened conscience, and God answers it, depart, thou cursed one. The spirit departs from God, not to hide itself among the trees of the garden, but to plunge itself into waves of agony. And now many years have passed, and the body, though the soul has been alive and has suffered, has been sleeping in the grave, and the worms have devoured it. But hark! The day of judgment, the day of thunder has arrived. Shrill above all thunders sounds to the sinner the awful trump. And after the trumpet comes the voice, awake, ye dead, and come to judgment. Amidst that awful tumult is heard the cry, where art thou? The angelic messenger has found out your body, and from the grave your body starts, from underneath the green sward. Up it leaps in answer to the question, where art thou? Art thou? And to its horror, its ghastly spirit comes back, its soul, that long has suffered, returns into the resurrection body. And they twain, comrades in sin, are now companions in judgment. The cry rings forth once more, and that very ear shall hear it that now listens to me, where art thou? Then comes the great white throne, and those very eyes shall see it that now gaze on me. And then comes the commencement of the dread assize, and that heart shall quail then which moves not now. Then shall come your own personal trial, and oh, sinner, sinner, it is not for me to describe your terror. I could not give even the faintest picture of that death sound. And of the death of your immortal spirit while you hear it, I was an hungered. And ye gave me no meat, I was thirsty. And ye gave me no drink, inasmuch as ye did it not unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye did it not to me, and these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. O earth, 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 hear the word of the Lord. I pray each of you to hear it for yourselves. I have not talked to you of dreams. You know they are realities, and if you know it not now, you shall ere long. I do beseech you by the blood of him that died for sinners, and what stronger argument can I use? Think of the question, where art thou? May God show you where you are. Hear the bemoaning voice of God, as pityingly he weeps over you. Seek his face, for he seeks you. And then you need not dread to hear him say at the last, where art thou? But you will be able to say, here am I, and the children thou hast given me. We have washed our robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb, and, Father, here we are, hoping to dwell in thy presence forever and ever. Oh, that I could plead with you as a man pleadeth for his life. Would that these lips of clay were lips of fire, and this tongue no more of flesh, but a live coal taken with the tongs from off the altar. Oh! For words that would burn their way into your souls. O sinner, sinner, why wilt thou die? Why wilt thou perish? Man, eternity is an awful thing, and an angry God is a dreadful thing. And to be judged and condemned, what tongue can tell the horror? Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, stay not in all the plain, escape to Mount Calvary, lest thou be consumed. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, trust him with thy soul, trust him with it now, and thou shalt be saved, and thy house.